Hello everybody, this is Oscar from Oscar's Tech, and I'm here with Allison from Cornerstone Creative, and Michelle. You want to introduce yourself?
Michelle LaCour, lbcpolitics.com.
Alright, and thanks for watching again. We have another episode to share with you some of our, discussions. We're going to cover Facebook, YouTube, and mailing lists today. So you can watch the entire episode, or you can look in the comments or the description below to find all the different segments, so you can jump right into the interesting part. So, Facebook profiles are our first topic, and Allison was telling me about how people completely miss the mark on filling out their profile sometimes, and she wanted to make sure that people know how to fill their profile, because it's important for a business, right?
Right. Well, I know I did it in the beginning, and I missed it for a while. I didn't have my owner or worked at profile filled out entirely correct. So right now I'm on Timeline, but if you're not, it kind of works the same way. In that if you pull up your profile, so Oscar, are you going to work your magic, and are we going to be able to see this?
I'm going to have to pull it up in mine, okay? And show you guys.
All right. So in your profile, typically when people are looking in and logging in for the first time on your Facebook profile, they're going to definitely look at your picture and probably most likely look at your work history, just to kind of check you out and see who you are. And
sorry guys, I'm having issues here.
Yeah. Okay. It worked before. But anyway, when people click in and check out your work history, a lot of times people get it wrong because they'll either not have any work history, or they'll have their job. Boy, you're making me dizzy.
Sorry about that.
Okay. Or they'll have, their work history tied to a Facebook Places page. And so I think...
Sorry to interrupt. And this is what we're looking at now on the screen. Okay, so I'm going to bring it down a little bit. Right, and this is the part you were talking about, Allison? Is that right?
Right. Well, if you actually go to your profile wall, and you'll see, right, so you'll see Oscar has...
Right here at the top, yes?
Right. He's got went to Woodbridge High. How long ago was that? But anyway.
That was a long time.
So, okay. So right there, you could have owner at or works at info, and then you can just click in and actually like your business page just because it's linked to your profile. So I think that's really, really key. I learned that from my friend Denise Sonnenberg, and she showed me how to do that first of all. And I think it's easier than it was even 6 months ago. You just
so should I go ahead and click in here? So edit profile.
Right.
And how would I say that about being the owner of my company? So,
well, since you already have a business page created, you would just type your business page name and your profile information, and it should pop up.
But I do that where, under profile or activities and interests? No.
It would be under, I believe it's profile information.
Okay, so profile picture? No. I don't see profile information. I see basic information.
Oh. Okay. Basic information.
That's where I'm at right now.
Okay. So try something else.
Okay, that's okay.
Okay. Try
96 notifications.
Oh, how do you guys keep up with that? Yes.
Well, I just click on them and they go away.
Yeah, exactly.
I click on them, I read them, and then they go away.
They don't stop. Look at the minutes. This is every few minutes, so I just ignore it. I don't know. I guess if I click on it. Anyway.
What have you been doing with your time?
So if I go to info here, and I guess I can edit profile. But that's still not where we want to do. Oh, education and work. There we go.
Right, there you go.
Education and work. That's what we want. So.
Right. So my timeline is different than your Facebook profile, so sorry.
Okay, that's fine. But here I'm now adding my own business page as part of my profile. I'm going to say I'm the owner of this, right?
Exactly.
And I'm going to say, okay, so once it's populated, I just put in owner. Let me make sure it's censored, right?
Yep.
owner, and then where it's located. So Irvine, California. And I can come back and fix that later, but
yeah,
just for the show.
Easy.
So, and then add it. Now, would I want to add the entire profile, all my work history? Or is it just for the one time right now?
Right. I think it's just good enough that you have worked at or owner at.
Michelle, did you know? Do you have that filled out on your profile?
I don't think I do.
And do you look at that information for other people when you go to look at Facebook profiles?
It depends. It depends on what I'm interested. I don't necessarily go to people's profiles that often. I think I go to them more when I'm not friends with them to figure out either if they've requested to be my friend and I don't know who they are, or if I'm trying to figure out who they are, whether I want to friend them or not. I'll look at whatever information comes up. But so many people have blocked so much of their stuff that I don't think I see much of that.
I see. I'm looking right now. You have that information filled out already, so you're a pro. You know what you're doing.
Okay. Well, I did just put the LBC politics there.
Oh, okay, cool. So I think that's good. Do you think it helps for search engine optimization, Allison? Like, do people find you through that? Like, if I were to put in my keywords there, does that help me with Google? Do you know? I think you're on mute. We can't hear you.
Sorry, I was typing, so I muted myself.
Yeah.
I do know that your Facebook page, the way you name your Facebook page, if you have your name in there, it'll create some Google juice there.
Okay.
But I don't necessarily know if you complete your profile like that, if that catches any. But I think I do that. I creep into people's profiles and check out their worked as. It might just be when I've connected with them as friends, but I do that a lot just to kind of check them out and where they're coming from and what their history is.
Do you do that? How about LinkedIn? I mean, it seems like LinkedIn would have that ability to do it, or it seems like it's geared more towards that, where people might be looking for that information over there. How do you feel?
I think that's true. I think that people would search, like, find you on Facebook, and if they find what your business name is, or find you on LinkedIn. But then this is, for the most part, I think it helps you get more likes on your business page. Because if they like you and if they know you on your Facebook profile,
sure,
then they're more likely to, after they read all about you or creep into your pictures or what have you, if they like what they see, they'll go into your business page and like you.
So you think that it's just kind of giving them another way to find your business page?
Exactly.
Okay.
Right. Quickly and easily.
Okay.
And they might even not know anything about your business or might not want your services, but they'll like you because they like you.
Sure. So that's very cool. I just always kind of ignore Facebook until you pointed it out. For work stuff, I usually work on LinkedIn, and that's where I make sure I have all my work history, and I connect with people that work with me in different companies or projects. But I guess Facebook is another good place to have that information. Now, what do you think about as far as an employer or a student? Maybe let's talk about a student, because Michelle also works in education, so she has an insight. What should a student put as far as a profile goes? On their Facebook profile, or should they even have one?
I would say to anyone who works in education or anyone who's under 18 years old or maybe under 21, don't let anybody see anything on Facebook.
Just keep it completely private.
Unless they're your friend. They should, when you search someone's name and see absolutely nothing but a photo and their name, that's including, I would even suggest including not showing what friends, who their friends are, because education's very, there was a guy in Florida in the last few months that had put on his own private Facebook page that he did not believe in gay marriage.
Okay.
Now, I don't personally agree with that, but he has the right to say that. This is America, and he has a right to say that on Facebook. Well, somehow it got out to the school district that he worked for, and despite the fact that the kids loved him, that he never was reported for discriminating against gay students, he was Teacher of the Year, he was suspended. And that's when I just really get very frustrated with, school districts and whatnot, because he has the right to say that, and he didn't do it publicly. He did it personally.
Sure.
So as far as educators and kids, I say don't let them see a darn thing that unless they're your friend, and if they're your friend,
so
you gotta be really careful.
Sure. So
you can
friends
lose
or
your
family.
job. You can lose your job in education if you say something that people don't like.
Sure. And so definitely from the perspective of in a leadership position, like a teacher or a counselor, right? That's important.
Yeah.
What about a student? Just the same thing? Like maybe a 7th grader? What would you tell parents? Should they have a profile? Should it be limited? Or just the same way where nobody...
I would tell them that no one should be able to see any single thing on there. Unless they're a friend, they shouldn't see a thing.
Okay. And
not a thing.
Allison, do you have
Because if you say what school... Like if the kid puts what school they go to, a
Yeah.
pedophile could go figure out what hours of school
Sure.
that school's open, and then they could actually go and stalk the school. And it's happened. It's not...
Sure,
It's
not
not
like...
unusual. So I would say nothing.
Sure.
I would agree.
Okay. Yeah, and you have...
I'll have a 14-year-old next year, and when she signs up, it'll be totally private, except for her friends and me.
Sure.
You're going to get put in a group, Mom.
That's true.
But she figures that out because her mom's savvy, right?
I'll have username and passwords.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. I remember Stacey Soleil saying that she instills fear in her kids. So I think I'm going to use the same tactics.
That's good. Well, that's pretty cool for Facebook. Let's take a quick break, and we'll come back, talk a little bit about those groups that you just mentioned, and then we'll go into our other topics. So we'll be back after this break, or this is the end of that chat. Okay, so one thing I wanted to bring up now that we're back.
And we're back!
And we're back! Allison is like, what is going on? Michelle is the pro.
Maybe later I'll play you a little bit of my Merv Griffin intro, if you don't mind.
Okay, yeah.
Sure, I'm game.
I'll get it at the ready.
Sure.
Go ahead.
So, I wanted to bring up a cool little topic. We were talking just about child privacy almost on Facebook. Well, really just privacy amongst, teenagers or kids in school, and also people in education or leadership roles where you might just want to have it all private. But there's another level of privacy where you can actually have people in certain groups or lists where you share certain information with them and not everyone else. And actually a few months ago, Michelle was really helpful because you told me about those groups and how you use them to let a lot of friends into your Facebook, but not show them everything. And how would you guys feel about if your kids did that and they find a way to have certain groups where you might not even be looking at it? Or how would you monitor your kids once they are on Facebook? And then let's
tell me how you do it, Michelle, because I want to know.
Oh, well, I actually didn't innovate it myself. A friend of mine told me she has, I have a group that I call No Info, meaning that they shouldn't be able to see very much on my page. Although I don't know how good that is because I don't think I have the settings quite right. But there are a few people, there are people in life that want to be friends on Facebook, and my personality is I have a real hard time. Someone wants to be your friend and I know them. I'm personally conflicted to ignore their friend requests. So what I figured was I'll put them in a group where they get very little information. Because I don't want to, I just want them to be able to feel welcomed, but, I really don't want them to know. I'm opinionated,
Right.
I can tell. I'm opinionated and sometimes a little risque about what I post, and I I feel like certain people shouldn't be able to necessarily see all my business. So
is that because you're single, or is just that's because of you?
It's my personality. When I see something that I like or I don't like, I like to, really like, chime it from the bell tower. Like, I like, whoa, check it out, and so sometimes, there's people that I wouldn't want them to know. I also post a lot about other people's stuff and what they're saying and doing, and a lot of controversial political stuff. So if I don't feel like someone really accepts me or really would be okay with that, then I feel like they should be in a group where they just think that I'm talking about kittens. And
I wonder what group I'm in of yours.
You're in the good group. You're in the A-list. Most
Well,
people are in the A-list group. I mean, the vast majority, but there's a small percentage of people that I put somewhere else, Or if they make negative comments, I'll just take them off my feed completely because I just can't deal with them all the time. So I'll just take them off my feed, or take myself off their feed.
So does that mean when you post, you just select what group you want the post to go out to?
Yeah. So when I go to post, it's already set up that it's set up custom, which means that it goes to the vast majority of my friends, but it's everybody except the group called No Info, and so that group shouldn't see my my posts.
I see.
But I don't know how good. I really honestly don't know how.
Yeah, the other
effective it is.
The other question I was going to bring up now was if I can, if I post something to a specific group, can a person in that group share it out to somebody else? That's important to know too, because maybe you have certain group of people in a group, but then they're going to pass it on to the public or somebody else. You didn't want them to see that, right?
Whoa.
Like, it's complicated. How does that work? I don't know.
Well, I mean, I think you can. I mean, if you've provided a share button, like, if you allow people to share your stuff, I think as long as someone can see it, they can share it.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah, so that's, I guess, important to not only limit the groups that you post, but obviously watch out what you're posting, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, like my photos. I don't think people can share my photos.
I see.
You don't think?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
And then,
Test it.
I think they can share my posts. Like if I post like an article or something, I think they can share that. But I think if I post, I don't think they can go to my photos and share them. I think. Not positive. In fact, I just did a cleaning. I took out all the crappy photos.
Very nice.
Wow.
It's good to do
untag.
Can you guys?
So, Oscar, do you use groups like that?
No. Well, I have one group, a main group called like Close Friends. I think it's a built-in group that Facebook gives you. And what I do is I have everybody that's, I have a lot of people in there. The people that I exclude from that group are people that post a lot of stuff automatically or something like that. And that way I can focus on the people that are posting, one thing at a time on Facebook, and then I can go watch that. And then, but I just have a group that's kind of close friends, and then everyone else in a non-group. So that way I can watch people's really important updates, and then kind of do a quick pass at everyone else's, because I see a lot of fake posts or like a bunch of pictures that I don't really necessarily want to watch all the time or look at. But I don't get too granular with the groups. So, excuse me for a second. So, have somebody at the door. Take a quick break. Super quick break. I know. I don't know. There's somebody banging on the door real quick. This is not happening. But you guys
come back. If you don't, I'm calling 911.
I will. That's how.
I'm always thinking.
You're the pro here.
I don't even know what you guys are talking about, so, alright.
Well,
he marked it with a piece of white, like with a...
Well, right, but
and he could do this and mark it like that.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I guess it...
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. So anyway, let's get back from our little break and talk YouTube. So YouTube recently, actually, all of Google's properties. I don't know if you guys noticed, but or maybe they're still rolling it out to everyone, but the interface to YouTube and Google and search is changing. So if you're logged in, you now have a single button that drops down a bunch of stuff. Have you guys seen that yet?
Yeah.
So that's the new kind of look, and I think in line with that, they decided to give YouTube a refresh. So have you guys had a chance to look at the new YouTube? What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think it's really simple and easy to see things at a glance.
Yeah.
Of what your friends are doing, what's happening to the subscribers and what they're doing. So yeah.
Now let me ask you this, Michelle. Have you had a chance to look at it too?
Yeah, I've been on it recently. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. You know, I think it's fine. I think it looks better. I don't do a whole lot of searching on YouTube. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But yeah, I think it looks cleaner. It's updated. I get used to how things look, and so I always have to consciously tell myself, be open-minded. Things are changing. It's okay, and so it does look much better. Yeah, it really does look better.
Okay. How do you guys watch YouTube? You just mentioned something that was interesting, that you don't search a lot in YouTube, but I've read numbers and statistics that they say that YouTube is actually the second largest search engine. So you have Google #1 and YouTube the second one.
Well, I'll search something on Google, and then if I get a YouTube result, yes. But as far as going to YouTube and searching there, that's probably not happening very often.
Okay, that's not
for me neither.
For you, okay. But so when you do go to YouTube, the few times that you might do that, what do you look for? And what is it that are you looking for people doing something you want to learn how to do? Are you looking to be entertained? What kind of stuff are you looking for if you are in YouTube?
Well, for instance, I was looking at older cars. You know, I was kind of interested in buying an older car, and so what's really great about YouTube is they'll have people who have taken videos of that model of car, where you can really get a good look at what the car looks like on the inside. So I would go to YouTube to look up, you know, I don't know, a 1985 Chevy Sprint, for instance. I was looking at these older retro cars, and I would go look there to see specifically for that car.
Okay.
Rather than Google. But if I was searching for Jimmy Kimmel's, you know, interview with Ryan Gosling, I would just go onto Google, and I know that it's going to come up right away in the first 2 or 3 results for YouTube, and then just find it that way.
Okay. So that's pretty interesting. I didn't. Okay. And how about you, Allison? Do you search directly on YouTube? And when you do, what kind of stuff are you looking for?
I normally look for how-to videos, and if somebody's explaining it better than their website. So I'll normally jump on Google first, and if I'm not getting it all from their website, I'll go to YouTube. And typically for the things that I'm looking into, they'll actually have a YouTube channel, and I'll be able to search for how-to videos or a little bit more about their product. Also, if I can't find out about a person's or a business's product, typically they'll have other people on YouTube talking about how-to videos about the product. So
I see.
It's kind of cool.
Okay.
And I've searched, I don't know if you've heard of the company Wistia before.
No.
I actually clicked into their ad from Facebook.
How do you spell
and
it?
Wistia.
Okay.
And they're cool because they heat map, or not heat map, but they run analytics on video, and I haven't seen that before, and so it's really cool how it works, and you could, you know, find out information about who's watching or how people are watching your video, basically. So and they do hosting on their site. So
I'm looking at their site right now. Very interesting.
Yeah, so it's interesting.
Analytics for the video. Very cool. Michelle, you're kind of a video expert. About, you know, personal video and stuff. You do a class, right, sometimes?
Yeah, yeah.
So, so speaking of YouTube and the videos, obviously now they're starting to track it by this website, for example, that Allison brought up. How do you guys think that small businesses can utilize video. And Allison, you have some great examples of what you've been doing lately. Why don't you tell us a little bit about how a small business could use YouTube today? As we have a new visitor.
Well, I was trying to mute myself.
Licorice on the way.
Say hi. Okay, maybe not. Say hi.
Hello.
Hi. What are you? He's playing Legos in here, so I was trying to mute.
You look very professional trying to hold your pose until he stuck his hand in.
I was trying.
That's all right. That's fine.
Well, video is so much fun when I'm videoing somebody else, not when I'm on video. And it's just fun when other people want to do fun things and be goofy and put their face on a video. And so I've done that with a client, and you know, I would definitely want to learn Pilates from her rather than just because I can see who she is and what she's like in person when I watch her video. So.
Do you have the website address for the video? I want to show it to you.
Oh, okay.
Because I thought it was pretty clever. Michelle, what she does is, and everyone else listening, this is pretty clever because the video has a lot of personality. You'll notice that it's not, you know, a high-budget production, but it has a message that comes across very well because it's interesting. It makes you watch. You know, it's a little bit goofy, but it gets you to watch the video. And I've been showing it to people, telling them that this is, you know, takes 5 minutes to record it in your studio, in your office, and then post it into YouTube, and you get some people to watch it and get your message. So I think it's very, very clever how you did that.
It's abcpilatestraining.com.
Okay. So. Okay. So I'm going to put that in our notes so people can watch it on their own time. But I'll bring up the video really quick. And let's try that Hangout feature where you guys can all watch the same video.
Okay.
So in a minute you will get a little pop-up on your side that should ask you to join a YouTube video. Did you get something?
Yes.
Okay, so now it's still refreshing on my side.
And then the different types, if they're, well, I need to know who's the tank turned down.
Thank you. So, ABC. Okay, so I think I found her videos. Just need to find that one. It's a little bit weird how you find YouTube's for this feature. So now are you both looking at a blank screen right now for YouTube? Maybe?
I'm looking at the home page. Is that what I'm supposed to look at?
I'm not sure. Click on the YouTube button at the bottom of your Hangout.
Oh, okay.
I've got it. I see it. I'm playing.
Okay, yeah, now I have a blank screen.
Okay, so now we should be able to watch the video.
For our teacher training program.
And I'm not sure how it works really well for you guys, but.
So who decides, how did you play the video? What did you do?
Are you able to watch it? Well.
No.
Okay, we'll skip it for now.
I can watch it.
Okay,
I'm seeing it right now.
What I'll do is I'll put the video on the links for the notes, and I'll put it in our chat right now. If Michelle, if you want to watch it, you can watch it after or something. But what it does is she comes in and she's very mysterious about something that's going on with her studio and how she's not going to tell everybody, but then she invites you to pay attention to it and invites coaches for a training session for the type of fitness that she does. So I'll include that in the notes so everybody can watch it, but it's very, very interesting. And the primary purpose of that, it seems like it was for the website, right, Allison?
Right, exactly.
So you see it right here on her website. It was easy to embed and put it onto the front page. And she also announces what's going on in the video with text, but at least she's presenting a video that's very engaging. And so it was a very inexpensive way to market a new idea or a new product, right?
Right,
so
right.
That's
it was a lot of fun.
That's one great way I see businesses using YouTube. And of course, search engine. You know, like you guys said, whether you go directly to YouTube or to Google, you guys will watch the videos that you find on your searches if it's relevant to what you're looking for. So,
right.
Definitely a good.
So,
yeah.
Oscar, how do you use YouTube then?
Well, I started using it for personal videos, basically, just family and friends. If you guys go to my personal channel, which I'll put in the notes too, it's just kind of videos of stuff I've done for fun for the most part. I have some videos. I have this like elastic stilts that make me like 10 feet tall.
Okay, I've seen that.
Yeah, so I jump around in those. That was what I started using YouTube for. And then just take little video clips of stuff. But lately I'm starting to do tutorials and how-to videos on website stuff or IT. And that's actually how some of this video chat came about. You know, we want to share some of our information. So that's how I want to use it. I want to share information that people want to hear about on video rather than text because it's more engaging. And one thing that I see happening is that YouTube is now coming to our TVs. And you know, we have smart TVs that play YouTube directly, or you can buy a inexpensive Blu-ray player that has network built in, and you can watch YouTube and Netflix. So you know, that's how I use YouTube, I guess, to put in information in people's faces. I don't know, but I'm hoping that searches will bring up the videos that I want people to watch. So,
Right.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, and I was going to say, and why do you use YouTube versus like Vimeo or some of the other video hosting sites? Like, what's your strategy for that?
Michelle, do you want to answer that? No. Then I'll give you my
Well,
perspective.
I just think you can't beat YouTube when it comes to search SEO. So, you know, and since I'm not yet in a position where I could really profit off videos I'm making, and you know, I'm not in a position where I really need to own stuff on my I would be it's better for me to just put it on YouTube because it shows up, you know. If you search my name, not right now, but maybe in the next 3 months, there's going to be a lot more video that is associated with my name, and that's going to help, you know, get people to see my face immediately.
So searching your name.
Yeah, ego searching, right?
Yeah.
Or LBC Politics, I'll always have Michelle LaCour on there too.
Yeah.
Right.
It's all going to be together.
Yes. Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about ego surfing in a minute after we take a break. But for YouTube, I use it for the same reason that Michelle said, search engine, but also the community. Even if you want to put a video on your website only, or if you want to show it on your website, there's that aspect of your business where you want to bring in traffic to your website and people will watch it, but you also have a huge community on YouTube. You have a huge community on YouTube that spends a lot of time watching videos. Hold on, who kind of muted here?
Okay. Oh, that's funny.
There's a huge community that watches those type of videos just because they spend time on YouTube, and so that's how I use it. You know, to extend the reach of your audience.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to have somebody go to your video, embed it on your website, but then stay on your website and not shoot off to YouTube at any given moment, or be marketed to on YouTube, then you would use a different video hosting site so that you can stay on your website and market.
Yes, I might use either just the website's built-in delivery system or something like the premium version of Vimeo or something. But now if you get smart with YouTube, you can actually embed your video into your website and have that video show more of your videos after it's finished. So whether it keeps the person on your website or on your videos, I think it's a success, right? You just don't want them to leave your channel, so to speak.
Exactly.
And by channel,
My tech guy is going to have to figure that out for LVC Politics. Though.
Yeah. Who is that? He better be smart.
You better be real
awesome.
smart.
That's right.
we will try. Now that you put me on the spot here. So, anyway, so we'll go for a quick break. We've now talked about Facebook and YouTube. If you haven't watched all the episodes, look in the description of this video to find the master index and then watch all the videos you want. So, we'll come back in a second to talk to you about ego surfing. So we're back for our little break, and we were talking about Facebook, and we talked about LinkedIn a little bit. No, we didn't talk about LinkedIn. We talked about your profile online, privacy, and stuff like that. And now we're going to talk about ego surfing. So almost kind of to come around full circle on that privacy stuff. What is ego surfing, Michelle?
Ego surfing is
sorry to interrupt you, because Allison doesn't like me bringing up definitions to her.
Yeah,
So
well,
I'll let
all
you
I
answer
said
it.
was searching your name on Google, and he's got to, come up with a term about, I don't know, ego surfing. So, go ahead, Michelle, sorry.
Name and seeing where you rank, and
Okay. So
seeing how important you are or how unimportant you are.
Are you brave enough?
So seeing where you rank, that's part of it. What does that mean? Seeing where you rank, like what are you looking for?
I'm really lucky. My last name is very unusual. So if you search Michelle LaCour, I have no competition. Knock on wood. So if you search my name, I'm in the first 10 results, I think.
Okay, so you want to be up there, and why? Or do you care? I mean, for you, having your name unique like that is, like you said, you're all the way at the top, and I just did a search, and you are indeed all the way at the top. But why is that important?
Well, I mean, it depends on what your business is. I mean, if you're just, you're just a person who doesn't have a web presence, you probably don't really care as long as you show up somewhere where people could find you.
Okay.
But if you're trying to, associate your name with a certain business or, a certain topic, then I think it's important that when those search terms are Googled, that you end up above the fold, on the computer. So.
Okay.
That's at least the way I see it. I could be totally wrong, but.
Sure. No, I agree. I actually have been Googling myself for a while. That sounds so dirty, doesn't it? I mean, it sounds dirty.
It does sound kind of bad. You're right.
Yeah. So, Allison, what's your take on Googling yourself or ego surfing? What else did Wikipedia say about that?
Pardon?
Oh, I was just asking Allison what other terms Wikipedia calls it.
Oh, I don't know. What did you look up?
So
you looked up.
I'm pulling it up right now. It's called ego surfing, vanity searching, ego
Right.
searching, ego Googling, auto Googling, self Googling, master Googling, and Google baiting.
Google bait? Wow.
Yeah, so all those are terms that people use for that. And so why would you do it, Allison? Why do you want to know?
Well, I think it relates to business in a real way. Like if you've had a business that you've been in business for 30 years or so, and we can't find you on the internet, I think that makes it difficult for you to, get business, obviously, from the internet because you're not there. So my whole thing would be to have a robust online presence at least on Facebook with a Facebook page, because it's really easy to create, and of course a business website. And that might be difficult for people who have been in business, who've had a brick and mortar business for 30 years to understand is, yes, you want to invest online on some great business tools so that you can get found online.
Sure. And so in our cases, I think all three of us want to be found by our names, right? So, and I just looked both of you guys up, and of course you come up at the very top. So that's good.
What about you, Oscar?
Exactly.
Your name is much more. The last name Gonzalez is very common. I mean, in terms of searching. So, how do you make sure you come up?
Yeah, it's actually been a challenge for me because, like you said, it's very popular, and I'm also competing with some celebrities in their own right. Like there's a country. I mean, there's a soccer player that I think is a country star. I mean, in his own country, he's like a superstar at soccer. So I'm never going to compete with that, right? So if you just Google Oscar Gonzalez, I may come up on the first page. It depends on your social connections sometimes.
Yeah.
But I was able to come in from like page 15 till page 1. It took me like a year and a half.
Yeah, you're on page 1.
Oh, I am? Okay.
Uh-huh.
What slot do you see me in? So.
Maybe because I've Googled you before.
No, that's fine. But do you see me on what result number? Number 5 or something?
Third.
Okay, Third is good. And what is it?
Quora.
Quora,
On
okay.
Quora and Google, Facebook.
Okay.
But you're not the fitness trainer dancer?
No.
He is a dancer. He's a secret. Shh.
No dancing.
Oh. What kind of dance?
No, no dancing.
Jazz.
Jazz hands? Do I need to do jazz hands?
Okay.
No.
Perfect.
There's a professor of mathematics at the very top, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
But what was that website that you were talking to me about before that checks to see if you're on all these different social media platforms? Because that was really cool.
Oh, that helps you at least find your name. So there's a bunch of
Right.
them now, but this is one that's popular. Name check. And it's spelled N-A, spells name, just like name, and then CHK.com. And what it does is that you can go up and put in your username that you want to use into it, and it will check to see if it's available for you on all those different networks. So that's pretty handy. Now, it's a little bit out of date because it doesn't have some of the newer networks. So you have to find other services that do this as well, but I don't have them off the top of my head. But that's good for brands, I think. You know, if you want to keep a username that matches across all your name, then this is a good place to do it. But you know, for our first and last name, we didn't get a lot of choice in it.
Right.
But for me, it was very difficult to get up to the top, and I did it with social media. That's the part where I emphasize to people that even if they don't want to participate, they should create profiles because their name is likely still available out there, but they need to go and claim it. If I had started earlier with my name, I'd probably have all my name, I mean, Oscar Gonzalez, across all the different social networks, but I didn't, so I had to create a brand for Not a Grouch to be able to compete with that. And over time, then I was able to bring Oscar Gonzalez because that's how I leave a comment on a blog, for example. So, yeah.
Cool.
So, that's Googling yourself or ego surfing. And,
so,
yeah.
Can you find too much information about yourself online? Like for security reasons, what do you want online and what do you not want online?
Well, personally or in general?
Both.
So, okay. So personally, I want online all the information about the type of business that I do. So I want people to find me by my abilities, by my business, by my products, or by referrals. So if they find my testimonials, for example, I think those are very important because that's a little mini sales pitch on its own, right? I think.
Okay, yeah.
What I don't want to be found is anything, you know, now this is of course not personal, but I don't want to find negative public records, for example. So like if I had a lawsuit against me, I don't want to find those, or I don't want people to find them. And there's ways to hide those, which is very important to part of Googling yourself, because as a business person or as a private individual, you want to make sure that your good stuff comes up and not the bad stuff. So when you Google yourself, right, you can find out what's coming up, and then you can try to bring up good stuff on top of that if you happen to have something that you don't want people to find. But as a matter of rule, I guess, or rule of thumb, you don't want to have negative stuff show up about yourself, right? That's how I see it.
Yes, that would be the ideal situation.
Right. And there's companies that do that now where you pay them a lot of money a month and they try to hide all those negative results. So, but
Well, they just get rid of it?
Well, they can't. You can't get rid of it, but they bury them underneath other good results.
Right.
So that's something that we...
How much are you paying them a month, Oscar?
Perfect.
That's good. Actually, Allison does that too.
Are you on the unlimited plan?
Yeah, unlimited with like on-call support 24/7.
Support 24-hour.
Yes. It's like, oh, picture in Vegas. We need to delete it. Right?
What happens in Vegas doesn't necessarily stay.
Exactly.
Or so I've seen.
Yeah.
I know people have phones everywhere and taking pictures, and yeah, there's no more what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas for sure. So anyway,
I wouldn't know.
that's kind of all the topics we had to talk about. I don't know if you guys have anything else.
It's
So,
a
you
wrap.
know what would be a really good topic at some point is Google Voice. I think that'd be a really good topic.
Oh, Google Voice. Why don't we put it in our notes for next time?
And also your mug. We talking about what's on your mug.
My mug?
No, the Dashter mug.
Dashter.
Let's
Maybe we can get Dave Cole to come in and talk to us.
maybe we'll try it for next time. But let's do a quick announcement about Dashter for them. So
Okay.
Dashter, do you guys know what Dashter is? Have you guys seen any blog posts with Dashter?
Yeah, I got a little bit of a demo one time, but why don't you tell us exactly how it works?
Right.
Actually,
A preview, a teaser.
I wish I could give you guys a teaser, but I don't have it yet. I noticed that I'm actually on the front page. My picture is on there as one of the marketing pictures, which is cool. But basically what I understand Dashter does is this. Dashter takes your interest in Twitter and allows you to search for that within the WordPress database. Not within the WordPress database, within the WordPress dashboard. And so it will pull up tweets and Twitter users related to what you're interested within a blog post. So you can quote them or reference to them in your blog post and make a really, really good curation post, for example. So if you're following a conversation with a hashtag, you can look for that and then bring in the commentary that you want to use to build up your blog post. Very good way to recap meetings or Twitter chats, I guess. So that's what I understand from it. It looks really, really cool, but it's a little bit pricey. So I don't know.
I'll have to take the tour online.
Yes, I was just showing the tour a little bit to our audience here, so you guys will see it on the video. But it is, I believe, $95. And if you dig around the internet and some of the social media circles, you'll find a coupon. I think for $25 off. So look for that. That's Dashter, and it's pretty cool. Maybe we'll get Dave Cole to come in and do a little interview with us.
Awesome.
Yeah. But that's it. Yeah. So thank you guys for joining in again. Michelle, thank you for being our first guest.
My pleasure.
Yes.
Our guinea pig.
Yes. And so this is the first time we do this video with Google Hangouts. So hopefully it will work for when we want to do more than one-on-one. And thanks for watching. If you guys, anybody wants to participate, come in as a guest, please get a hold of me on Twitter.
It's 12
Or
hours.
Facebook or LinkedIn. Any of those. I'm everywhere.
He is everywhere.
And we'll be happy to talk to you. So
Cool. Thanks, Oscar and Michelle.
thank you.
Thank you. Bye.